Bunch of police, PCO5.
He's like swerving into oncoming traffic and speeding. I watched him almost hit a mailbox a couple miles back, and then since then he's swerved into the opposite lane like 5 or 6 times, like over the median. He looks like a young guy. I think he's intoxicated.
Eventually, Officer Coker stopped at a drive-through pharmacy line at a Brookshire's grocery store upon receiving the report regarding Officer Coker's driving from the Boer City Police Department Communications Division. The department contacts Officer Coker by cell phone and asked him to wait at the grocery store. Captain Leander Matthews, Sergeant Tyrone Warren, and Sergeant Chris Estes all met Officer Coker at the store, and the interaction that followed was captured on Sergeant Estes' body camera.
Where are you from? Where you come from? I'm from the house. How was your driving? Driving fine. It goes a little bit to the right. Other than that, unless I drop something or whatever, hit the curb or whatever, or in the middle line, but you was all in the car if you like. Did you drop something? I didn't drop something. The only thing I know of is I saw the phone down on the seat and was reaching for it to get it. You got a gap right there. Other than that, yeah, pill ball on the same legs when I walked up. What was that? I had to check to see what they were. Wait. You know, right there in the middle of the back seat. So you got off? Probably my You got off at 6 o'clock today? I did. I got 2 kids. Did you go straight to bed or what was the deal? No, I didn't. So you've been up since last night? I have. The Adderall? What is it? The Exotram or what? Lorazepam? Yeah. So they cause dizziness. So you take a couple of these? No, not today. No. Not a one. So you think you're good to go for driving? Oh, 100%. And look, ain't nobody trying to get no more time. No, I know. And that's why I had been asleep. I'm just trying to get everything arranged. Got home, got the kids on the school bus, met Daddy, got all that situated, just trying to pick the house up. So my car, I got mine in the shop. So you have to work tonight? I do. Well, you go get some rest, man. As soon as I get home. I work nights 100 times, but it just with a little help. You know, talk to Sergeant.
What's up, man?
All 3 of y'all out here.
They just asked me to come up here to meet them. I mean, it's nothing personal. Yeah, I know it seems that way, but
no, I get
they got an obligation to just check things out whenever you got a complaint like that, you know?
Well, I told them that when I went to nights, man. I can't. I'm just trying to juggle it all. It's not like I go home and just get great sleep. I just don't.
Right.
You know, I've got full custody of 2 kids, and I got to get.
Right.
My mom just died. I'm trying to help my dad with all the bills and all that.
Right.
Come up here and get his prescription. He can't walk. So.
Right. I get it. How far you live from here?
Live out by the range.
Okay, wow.
It's not bad. It's not bad as you think. It takes probably 22 minutes. Something like that. 25 minutes to get to work. All right, this is the car going to now, son, essence, take you to the so I can't go there. Why you can't go? I got a sick kid at home. I can't. That's why I'm trying to get back to. I'm trying to get Daddy's prescription. Can't even go. I'll be glad to come up there just a little bit. But I don't feel safe that you're driving right after you know that you're okay. But can I get somebody to come get me? I promise you, Lieutenant Captain, I am fine. If I hit something, it was dropping my phone. It ain't the sleep. Well, listen to me. You're going to have to go this route, what I just told you. Okay, I'm telling you, I can't do that right now. You don't have no other choice. I'm telling you that right now. Captain, with all due respect, when I get off, I have obligations to things. That's why I couldn't go tonight to begin with. But I'm making it work. But I have to get back home to get home. We're not going to have this discussion. You're going to WK. You're going now. Captain, I can't go right this You're going now. Okay, well, what if I don't? We're going to have a problem. What's the problem? You probably...
Captain Matthews tells Officer Coker that he needs to take a drug screen or he will be put on administrative leave, although the Boer City Police Department policies have not been made publicly available. An internal affairs report stemming from this incident has, and it includes references and citations to several policies that are relevant to this situation. Section 100047 of Boer City Police Department Policy 10,004 Drug and Alcohol-Free Workpool requires officers to submit to drug or alcohol testing when, now quoting, the supervisor reasonably believes based on objective facts that the employee is under the influence of alcohol or drugs that are impairing his or her ability to perform duties safely and efficiently. Additionally, Section 10473 states that an employee may be subjected to disciplinary action if he or she fails or refuses to submit to a screening test, although Officer Coker was off duty, and Section 100047 only allows supervisors to order drug screens when they believe that the employee's potential drug use is impairing their ability to perform their duties. He was driving a so-called take-home police vehicle at the time he was ordered to take the test, according to Section 70341 of Boer City Police Department Policy 703. Vehicle use. When operating a take-home vehicle, officers must, now quoting, be prepared to perform any function they would be expected to perform while on duty. Likewise, under Section 70342, an off-duty officer has a duty and an obligation to respond to incidents where there is a potential threat to life or serious property damage. Therefore, because Officer Coker was driving his take-home vehicle and could potentially be required to perform duties, it is likely that Boer City PD policy would be interpreted as requiring him to submit to a drug screen or face potential disciplinary reaction.
To me, you're operating.
I wasn't even driving.
Coker.
Captain, I love you to death. I mean,
but you put me in a bad spot.
Captain, I'm in the only spot I can be in, man. I'm trying to take care of my family.
You're gonna have to go with him, okay?
I can't go there right now, Captain. I'm not trying to be, Captain, I ain't trying to be ugly at all. I can get somebody to come get me. I'll come back and get it later, whatever you want me to do. I'm not refusing anything. I'm just telling you, I have an obligation. So I'm not trying to refuse anything.
Listen to me.
I'm not.
If you was in your POV, listen to me.
I would be.
Listen
it's in the shop.
If you was in your POV, we wouldn't be out here right now.
I know that.
But you in the city vehicle.
Right. And it's her word against. Did she got some videotape?
Man, listen to me, man.
This is not court. This is an administrative deal.
I know that, but I'm just saying, anybody's out there, the police. Like I said, if I drop my phone and went over the line, I'm not doubting that.
Yes, sir.
But I have to get to. Give me 35 minutes. I'll come back and do whatever you want me to do.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Okay, well, can I get somebody to come get me?
No, you gotta
come with us. If you refuse, you're not gonna have no choice but to put you on administrative.
And what does that mean?
That means that we have to take your gun, take your badge, and then we gotta go to the chief's office. And then the chief administration will take care of that. That's what we want to do. We're obligated to do what we're doing right now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if we refuse, we ain't gonna handcuff you and take you with us, but we're not gonna give you the keys to the city park. We're not gonna do
Can I
that.
get my stuff out of it?
Slow down. Are you going to take the test, or are you not going to take the test?
I will take the test today. I just can't take it right this second.
So here's the deal, to make it perfectly clear. What he's explaining to you
Yes, sir. And I'm
is
on y'all's
that
team.
he and the captain are giving you an order, being in patrol administration, okay? You're under their command, that you have to submit
I love them both
to reasonable suspicion testing.
There is,
for the
what is the
department.
reasonable suspicion?
This is not for
But,
debate.
hey,
Listen to
I'm
me.
just saying, explain to me the
Coker,
reasonable suspicion.
you're arguing. Look,
I'm asking.
okay,
Sergeant,
they,
don't worry about it. He's been policing long enough. This guy, the detectives, if you don't understand what we're saying right now, you're not going to never understand what we're saying. Okay, so we just leave it right there. I'm not worried
I'm just
about it.
asking, so that's all I'm doing. I'm on y'all's team. I've never not been. Always.
Sergeant Estes explains that Officer Coker is required to submit to so-called reasonable suspicion drug testing, and Officer Coker asks him to explain what the source of the reasonable suspicion was, despite having already been told about the 911 call, because Officer Coker was outside Boer City PD's physical jurisdiction. The investigation was administrative in nature and not criminal. However, even if the supervising officers were in their physical jurisdiction and investigating Officer Coker for a Potential crime, it is likely a court would conclude that they had reasonable suspicion to detain him, as the Supreme Court explained in the 2014 case of Nate versus California. The Fourth Amendment authorizes officers to detain citizens based on reasonable suspicion, that is now quoting, when a law enforcement officer has a particularized and objective basis for suspecting the particular person stopped of criminal activity. The so-called reasonable suspicion necessary to justify such a stop is dependent upon both the content of information possessed by police and its degree of reliability. In the Nate case, a citizen called 911 to report that a particular vehicle had run her off the road, and the court determined that this specific allegation supplied an officer with reasonable suspicion to initiate a traffic stop on the driver of the vehicle on suspicion of drunk driving. In reaching this conclusion, the court noted that, quote, "We have firmly rejected the argument that reasonable cause for an investigative stop can only be based on the officer's personal observation rather than on information supplied by another person, and that," now quoting again, "under appropriate circumstances, an anonymous tip can demonstrate sufficient indicia of reliability to provide reasonable suspicion to make an investigatory stop." The court also reasoned that the absence of additional suspicious conduct after the vehicle was first spotted by an officer did not dispel the reasonable suspicion of drunk driving. In other words, the court did not require the officer to have personally observed any suspicious driving in order to make the stop. Additionally, in the 2010 case of State versus Elliott, the Supreme Court of Louisiana noted the greater reliability of 911 calls from identified callers, such as the one who reported Officer Coker, stating that, now quoting, "In the present case, the witnesses were clearly citizen informants providing information about a crime as it was happening and not anonymous tipsters." The dispatcher could reasonably infer from the circumstances that the caller was motivated by the desire to eliminate an immediate risk to public safety and was holding herself accountable for the information she provided by identifying herself, if not by name then by the cellular phone from which she was calling. The court ultimately concluded that, now quoting again, "the information conveyed to the dispatcher provided reasonable suspicion to stop the defendant's vehicle because it expressly described traffic violations as they occurred when the defendant ran at least one red light, swerved left over the center line, hit the right curb, and nearly collided into another automobile." Accordingly, given the similarity between the facts of these cases and Officer Coker's situation, it is highly probable that a court would conclude that police officers acting within their jurisdiction would have reasonable suspicion to detain him based on the 911 call alone, even without personally witnessing him driving the vehicle.
Stand by not taking the test now. You're subject
There's nothing I wouldn't
to
pass.
administrative issues or administrative procedures.
Listen, I'm on the phone with one of the deputy chiefs. He said, "You gotta go for reasonable suspicion that something, you gotta go."
I can't go right this second. Can you give me 30 minutes?
And we're gonna make sure whatever your family needs are, we will make sure those family needs are taken care of.
I have to take care of it. My mother died 2 weeks ago. I have a daddy that I didn't ask for this. It's because I didn't go to sleep. Is that mandatory? I'm not trying to argue or get in any kind of trouble. I'm just saying I have an obligation. There's nobody caught. There's no video footage of me swerving. Nothing. Does some lady didn't like the police? Man, there's nothing there. Captain, I'm not trying to make your job hard. None of y'all's job hard. Y'all know me.
You're doing a good job making it hard, bro.
I mean, I'm not, man. You're making mine hard because I got nothing said I had to go home and go to sleep. Yeah, am I going to go to sleep? Yeah. But I have to think, that's the night thing I told you. I'm juggling it the best I can. The very best I can. I go to work every night. I'm there at 10 o'clock.
Are you going to submit to the testing or not?
I will go to any test y'all want me to go to. Just give me just a little bit of time.
Can't do that.
And I will drive a POV back there.
We're not gonna let you drive. That's the purpose of the test, to make sure that you're
Let me
okay.
get somebody come get me, and then I will get my stuff in order at the house, and I will come right back.
Coco, let me just say this, man. We're doing all this talking.
Okay.
Wasting all this time.
Okay, yeah, we are.
And you say you got family that you
I do. I got fan. I'm on my off day.
Yeah, I understand that. But you in our car.
Right, I am in your car,
Right.
which I was not driving when y'all pulled up.
Okay.
But but it's somebody that don't like the police, Captain. Is there something wrong with the car? I'm not trying to make nobody's job hard. Work with all y'all. I'm not. But on my off time, y'all didn't catch me driving. There's nothing wrong with the car.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't. This is not a DWI.
Listen to me.
Right, I know it's not. I ain't drink and drive.
You know you're not getting back in the car to drive.
That's fine. I'm gonna get my stuff out of it
When?
right now. It's my stuff. I can believe I can get it. It's my personal stuff.
Okay. You'll be able to get it, but you're not getting it right now.
I got to get my personal stuff, or that's a theft.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not?
No.
How's that?
Because there's no intent to permanently deprive you
Well,
of
how long are you deprived me of it?
it. This vehicle belongs to the city, and until they finish...
Officer Coker argues that his supervisory RS are committing a theft by not allowing him to immediately retrieve his personal property from the police vehicle according to Section 67 of Title 14 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes. Quote, theft is the misappropriation or taking of anything of value which belongs to another either without the consent of the other to the misappropriation or taking or by means of fraudulent conduct practices or representations. However, the statute explicitly states that, quote, an intent to deprive the other permanent L of whatever may be the subject of misappropriation or taking is essential, therefore temporary deprivation alone, without intent to keep the property permanently, does not meet the statutory definition of theft. Section 68 of Title 14 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes defines the offense of so-called unauthorized use of a movable, which is a separate criminal offense that covers temporary deprivations of property. This applies where an individual takes or uses another's personal property, now quoting, either without the other's consent or by means of fraudulent conduct practices or representations, but without any intention to deprive the other of the movable permanently. However, it is still highly unlikely that a court would find that the supervisor's refusal to allow Officer Coker to enter the police vehicle to get his possessions constituted so-called unauthorized use of a movable, as they did not take or use his personal property, but merely acted within their lawful authority to temporarily limit his access to it.
Or if you don't, you're going to be placed immediately on administrative leave.
And what does that entail, Captain?
That means the investigation going to be done.
Okay. All right. Get the girl. Let's investigate.
And then what's going to end up happening? You taking a chance of being terminated. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
But over what, Captain?
Because right now, the way you're acting, we're trying to do our job. We're trying to do something. You are being respectful.
I'm being as respectful as I can be.
Are you going, yes or no?
Captain, I have an obligation at home. I'm off. I'm not going right now.
It's a yes or no answer.
I'm not going right now.
Okay.
Can I get my personal stuff out of my car?
Do you have any weapons inside that car?
No, sir.
Okay, where's your weapons?
It is at home.
So you're driving a city vehicle without a duty weapon?
Yeah, is that something illegal?
Yeah, it's against policy.
What ain't against policy?
Well, maybe you should brush up on it just a little bit.
Okay, I guarantee you we can look around and everybody's broke policy.
Okay.
They got body cameras on? No, that's against policy.
Okay.
Ain't nothing.
What is it that you need out of your
I got
vehicle?
$600 in the console.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get it.
No. You're not going in the vehicle. Listen, you don't understand, Coker. I got the keys to the car.
I need that money.
Yeah, you get. Yeah,
Captain,
we're
can I
gonna
get my money yet?
We're gonna get you the money.
Nobody trying to keep your money from you.
Nobody gonna keep your money.
Well, why can't I get it now?
Step to the front of the car, man.
You can get it from
Hey,
me.
stand in front of us.
Good, how are you?
Oh, now I'm in trouble now? Okay. It's in the console. It's all insurance right there. Cap, please get it for me.
The issue, and I've told you this, is when they're giving you an order
I know, but I'm
to
saying,
submit to the test.
I've never had 3 people with
and,
brass.
and you're refusing,
I am not.
which is a violation of the policy.
I'm not refusing.
Well, you are.
I've never had somebody come to their home and get them to take a test.
You said you're not going. That's a refusal.
I've never had somebody off duty try to get somebody to take a test. I'm sorry I drove my police car up here. If my truck had been ready, which is supposed to be ready tomorrow at the body shop, I wouldn't be driving this piece. Not piece, but I mean, police car. I don't want to drive this marked thing with veteran.
You say you need to go ahead and leave, man. We're going to talk.
But I just want to tell y'all, every one of y'all, that I have no hard feelings towards anybody. I don't know what was said that I swerved. If I dropped my phone and swerved over to the side, I'm sorry, man. I forgive you, man. I really am. I don't want any. I've worked with every one of y'all, especially you, and I don't want any.
Yeah, and I have no issue with you.
Right.
I don't, but I have.
You doing your job? I know.
I have a job to do, and everything and all the sequence of events that have taken place today. Lord knows I hate it.
But did I do something wrong just because I can't go there right this second when I'm off?
But look how much time we spent waiting on your ride and talking, going through. It's just like
it's
now,
a talk.
we need to end this. You need to go ahead and get in your ride and go take care of your family.
Somebody supposed to call me?
We'll get with you. We'll get with you.
Y'all call me?
Yes.
We'll call you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Your ride is here. She's responsible for you.
Hey, when you get to the station.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me. I already talked to something.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on. As soon as I get there, I'm going to dump this on the cradle. I may leave it because I won't come in until the morning anyway, so I'll just leave my body cam on there.
Okay.
So.
Cool. All right, man.
I already talked to Sergeant Booker, man.
Yes.
And he already knows to lock down the computer.
Yes.
Lock down the computer.
After Officer Coker was placed on administrative leave, an internal affairs investigation was completed, and on January 25th, 2021, Sergeant Thomas Mack issued an internal affairs report sustaining several complaints against Officer Coker and concluding that he violated multiple policies. The report determined that Officer Coker violated the department's drug and alcohol-free workplace policy, both by refusing to submit to the drug screen and by failing to submit a so-called report of personal medication form for the prescription medication found in his assigned police vehicle, as required by Section 10431 of Policy 10,004, which states that, quote, members should avoid taking any medications that will impair their ability to safely and completely perform their duties. Any member who is medically required or has a need to take any such medication shall report that need to his or her immediate supervisor prior to commencing. Any on-duty status members shall complete the personal medication form and submit it to their immediate supervisor. Well, according to the internal affairs report, the medication has a potential side effect of quote-unquote dizziness, and Officer Coker had been taking it for at least a year without reporting it. The report also found that Officer Coker was in violation of Section 703(4), one of the department's vehicle use policy, which states that, quote, vehicles shall only be used for work-rated purposes and shall not be used for personal errands or transports unless special circumstances exist and the chief of police or a deputy chief gives authorization. The policy also requires that while operating a take-home vehicle, officers must carry and have access to their duty firearms. Finally, Sergeant Mack found that Officer Coker had violated Sections 31,758 and 3759 of Boer City PD Policy 317 Standards of Conduct, which prohibit, now quoting, any act on duty or off duty that brings discredit to this department, and now quoting again, discourteous, disrespectful, or discriminatory treatment of any member of the public or any member of this department or the city, citing his argumentative, disrespectful, and discourteous conduct towards Captain Matthews, Sergeant Warren, and Sergeant Estes. Based on the findings in the internal affairs report, a termination letter was issued to Officer Coker on February 10, 2021. The letter indicated that Officer Coker had 15 days to appeal his termination to the Boer City Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board. Although the details of any appeal filed by Officer Coker are not publicly available, the minutes from the Boer City Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board meeting held on April 21st, 2021 indicates that the board accepted a resignation from Officer Coker. Overall, Officer Coker gets an F for either driving under the influence or driving extremely recklessly and dangerously, refusing to comply with required drug testing, and maintaining a belligerent and disrespectful attitude throughout the interaction. While I cannot say for sure whether or not he was under the influence of some sort of substance, the description of his driving behavior, combined with his refusal to take a drug screen and his conduct during this encounter, is highly suspicious, and I certainly would not be surprised to learn that he had taken something, even if Officer Coker was only sleep deprived, as he claimed based on the 911 call. He was clearly not fit to be behind the wheel and should never have put the community in danger by driving in that condition. Officer Coker also repeatedly demonstrated deficiencies in his understanding of criminal law, such as when he claimed that his supervisors were committing a quote-unquote theft by not allowing him to access his possessions in his vehicle, or when he implied that the officers could not have reasonable suspicion based on a 911 call. Officer Coker also revealed his indifference towards police policy and procedure, both in his express words and his multiple violations in this single instance, even removing his potential drug issues from consideration. I have serious concerns about Officer Coker's aptitude in law enforcement, and I am glad to see that Boer City took action to remove him from their department. Captain Matthew, Sergeant Warren, and Sergeant Estes get a C+, because although they did an excellent job in handling this administrative issue and ensuring that Officer Coker did not drive home, I find it beyond troubling that there was no criminal investigation conducted into this incident. Although the Boer City officers were outside of their jurisdiction, it is unclear why no officers from within the jurisdiction responded to the 911 call, or why the Boer City officers did not contact those officers to assist in the criminal aspect of the investigation. The allegations of incredibly dangerous driving behavior from the 911 call at the very least supported a reckless driving charge, and as we discussed earlier in this episode, it also provided reasonable suspicion to conduct a detention for a driving under the influence investigation. If the 911 call had been about a citizen rather than a police officer, I would be shocked if an in-jurisdiction officer did not conduct a traffic stop to investigate. But here only the Boer City supervisors responded when officers protect quote-unquote their own from the consequences of their actions. It creates a double standard that builds distrust in the community that law enforcement is meant to serve, and I cannot help but wonder what went on behind the scenes here in order to shield Officer Coker from a criminal investigation. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Civilian Rights Hand Guide in the links below.